So just like you, I need to improve the quality of my contact with both my irons and my driver. I also naturally need to become more accurate. Now, a few months ago, I sought out the world's #1 coach, my mentor, Pete Cowen. Now, in that lesson, which I actually shared on YouTube, he basically focused on my trail side, how my right side of my body needs to work effectively to really simplify the golf swing. And over the last few months, I've been working very, very hard, and it has really improved the consistency of my contact and my direction with every club in the bag. Now in this lesson, what I want to do is I want to share with you his kind of genius move that's going to help you to improve your accuracy and your contact. Now in the lesson that we did on YouTube, some people didn't quite understand it, so I've really simplified it for you in this lesson. Now before I get into it though, if you're new to the channel, it's one of your first videos of mine, please consider subscribing. I release videos just like this every single week to try and help you improve your game. Plus, you never have to remember a thing. I'll always put a free practice guide in the description box below. So by the end of this lesson, what I want you to be able to do is, whether it's your driver, fairway or irons, I want you to be able to deliver this club consistently the same every single time. Great players are able to do this. They deliver the club not like this 1 minute and then this in the next minute. They deliver it consistently every time. This gives them great ball striking, it gives them the distance, and it obviously gives them the accuracy. That's my hope for you in this lesson. Now, the first thing to recognize is this: the golf swing is just a 1.5 seconds absolute maximum. 1 second of that basically takes place in the backswing. You only have 0.5 second in the downswing. So if you think about it, getting that backswing correct is absolutely imperative. We can, in a sense, get you in a great position at the top. It kind of sets up the downswing. If you get out of position at the top and you've only got 0.5 second to kind of like compensate, this is what leads to inconsistencies. Pete knows this, so the very first thing we're going to work on is getting you into a great place, right? Now he would call this, I want you to load your backswing up. Now take your setup position. Now I'm going to give you the drill he gave me, and I'm going to give you something unbelievably simple. So this is the drill he gave me. Cat candy exercise. Put your trail hand on top, bottom hand underneath. Don't join them. And ultimately what I'm doing here is this. I'm making a swing where ultimately my hands don't really go too much past my rib high here, and just making a swing here. And when I do this, this feels what he would describe as tight. It really does. Why is tight a good thing? So here I've loaded my legs, I've loaded my torso, and I've loaded my arms. Everything feels compact and tight. Tight is a good thing. Tight because just like a spring, if we are turning the top part of that spring here, okay, bottom part's fairly stable but still move, but top part's a bit tight. When you then let go, you get the downswing for free. So we need to get into a slightly more compact, tighter position at the top so you get your backswing for free. What I'm seeing with too many golfers is they're wristy here, the arms are going here, everything's just a bit loose, right? So the two drills you can play around with is the one that I worked on, which is a simple cat-handed exercise here, simple as that. Look how my trail elbow sits down here, absolutely perfect. And potentially an even simpler one which I've developed here is just take your trail hand, put it forward, so its palms facing slightly down towards the golf ball, okay, almost like you're bouncing a ball. And then I want you to imagine this. You're going to turn and look behind you, and you're going to imagine holding a weightless tray like this. Notice how my body is winding up and I'm holding the weightless tray. My whole arm, look, is first of all facing you, but then continues to go, and it's continuing to go this way, and it's holding that weightless tray. Now with my students, there's a variety of flexibilities. Some people will never get to the facing the palm to the sky, they won't have the flexibility. That's fine. You might have to kind of load, your loading of the swing or loading of the spring might be just facing away. What I don't want, however, is this. The palm facing this way. If you've done this way, what you're doing is you're not loading, you've lost the spring now. This is winding the spring, here loaded, now I can work it on an arc. This with a lot of people here is not winding it. So start with that as goal number one. Now here's how I'd work on this. For me, if I'm going to use the cat hand exercise here, what I do is I do a few little motions here. Now sometimes even when people do this, they try and do this. Notice what I'm doing. I'm letting that my trail arm is pushing away, the left arm is pulling back here. This is giving me the loaded kind of sensation. Now I made the mistake in the early days of doing this of almost being very static and trying too hard to do this. And I basically overthought it. So what I want you to do, I want you to do the same. I want you to keep momentum with it. So now I've got the idea of loading this kind of, in a sense, my backswing. I want to keep momentum. So I might start here a few times and then flow into this loaded position here. You could do this with your right arm. Just imagine flowing, hold the weights tray, hold the weights tray, hold the weights tray. Just don't get too static. Really add momentum to this motion. And the idea is just to see if you can load that spring, because when it's loaded, you've now got a chance. Then, same principle again. Don't overthink it. Get yourself set. Work on some motions. Now I'm going to try and repeat that motion here. Feel it just about here. I'm going to do this is the cat-handed exercise. But now there. Feel that momentum. Load it. Unload it. Okay. And I start just doing that initially. So here, small little swings. Load it. And unload it, okay? And I'm basically building up my backswing. So what's that? I'm at 7-iron here. That's just 157 yards. It's about 25 yards shorter than I normally would hit because I'm starting small. I want you to do the same, okay? So get that sensation. Do that, spend time. That might be a practice session in itself. Get the sense of that loaded position. Then move on to stage number 2, which is the downswing. So you've loaded your spring. You've loaded that backswing now. What happens? Well, you've done a big part of it. It'll want to come down naturally. But here's what I see with a lot of amateurs, and I want you to avoid this, okay? A lot of amateurs, when they're coming down, they don't realize, and I don't know if you're the same, but impact on the way down needs to happen on your trail side of your body, the right side for me, okay? It happens here. Without realizing that, this is what's tending to happen with golfers. They get here, they've loaded, and then what they do is they just sling their arms at it, okay? And impact then happens, look, in front of our bodies too much. This is when you get those flicky, horrible strikes. Now for me, even as a professional, I got a little bit too much in front as well, but I drove my handle, so I managed to get a strike, okay, but I'm still too much in front, but I'd then flick it, and I sometimes would get some hooks. Impact happens, look, on the trail side of the body here. This is absolutely crucial. So if you want your body to naturally move efficiently through impact, just understanding that impact happens, a bit exaggerated, but here is a great place to kind of visualize, all right? So when you're getting yourself set up, and whether it's cack-handed or this trail hand, look at this. I'm loading, holding the weights tray, and then all I'm going to do is I'm going to move that hand back towards the golf ball here, but as I'm doing that, I'm going to imagine that hand, look, staying on the trail side of my body. And as a byproduct, my trail side turns through, and here I am. What I'm not doing is doing this. Makes sense, yeah? So swing it back, move it onto the trail side. Hey presto. This is a really, really simple way for you to work on. Now, when I was doing the cack-handed exercise, this is something I personally did. So what I did, when I swung back here, I was very used to doing driving here and then flicking. So for me, it was like, how do I get that club naturally back to the golf ball? What I do is I turn my trail side look into the golf ball here. Now I've got a brilliant impact position. Where's impact? On the trail side of my body here, and I've got complete control over this club, all right? So really simple visual, but a great way to then take what we've just been doing, which is loading that backswing up and then thinking, right, and now to take my trail side, I'm gonna hit the ball with my trail side to the side of me, not out here or in here, but there. Okay. Nice and simple. So as you're doing this, you know, one thing that's really important, my students love this visual of just hitting on the trail side of the body, the side of the body, as opposed to just hitting it in front of it. It really helps with the ball striking. But remember, you must get loaded to do this. If you haven't got loaded, if you do this, if you're up here and then you try and hit on the, you haven't loaded the backswing, you're trying to hit on the trail side, you'll come straight over the top. Okay, that's not what we want. Remember, what gives you permission to turn this trail side back into the ball is the fact that you've turned it and you've loaded it on the way back. So if you've loaded it on the way back, all you're doing with this whole trail side of the body is simply just delivering it, look, back into the golf ball here, and that's going to give you that beautiful strike. So load it correctly, okay? Another great visual is to see, this is what this is here for, see the swing as if it's got corners. So you look at what we've just done. You've loaded the swing, we've gone around here almost on a bend, on an arc, okay? Now from here, most amateur golfers turn the corner too quick in their swing. Here, look, I'm going back down where we came from with my hands. Here's the corner. I'm turning the corner now to go back to the golf ball. I'm now continuing to turn the corner with my hands, look, releasing the club here. Someone like myself, I would be good at this bit, but I would drive, I wouldn't turn any corner, I'd drive this way. That would get me coming here, I'd have to flip with my hands. Most amateur golfers do the opposite. They don't get very loaded here, they go here, and then from here they turn the corner, come out over the top. Get loaded in the backswing, it'll make it so much easier for you to turn that corner back into the golf ball and return that club at the same place time and time again. So, do me a favor. Put the work in, get loaded in the backswing and start to work on turning that trail side back into the golf ball so you hit it on this side of your body, not in front, and you're going to start to improve the quality of stroke with every club in your bag. If you happen not to see my lesson with Pete, you can check that out right here. But if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, maybe share it with one of your friends, and of course, look, if you're new to the channel, press that subscribe button and the bell. But until next week, have a wonderful golfing week.